you suffer from chronic CFED or can't focus energy drain? Try over-the-counter Vibrant. One tablet contains the same caffeine as a cup of coffee, but without the calories or coffee breath. Vibrant. Caffeine, not coffee. Taking Vibrant may result in a lack of drowsiness, improved productivity, and better cash flow from decreased coffee spending. Unexpected job promotions have been associated with Vibrant. Vibrant may decrease the urge to zone out, doze off, or exhibit signs of slacking. All jokes aside, always read the label, take only as directed, and limit caffeine as it may cause real side effects. Not for children under age 12.
Blog Talk Radio.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this letter's addressed to whack no hundreds. Fuck that flex, we gon' get to you, nigga. This some street shit. You had no compassion for this man's family. You had no compassion for the dead. You had no compassion for his legacy. So we're forced to not have no compassion for you. So if these bullets find women and children, God forgive me. Spraying everything with your DNA. I awaken the disrespect of the sacred code. Make it known, get flesh and bone to take your soul. Bullet holes to you and yours you truly love. Funerals is frequent now for speaking of. The best that ever did it. And just on the strength, nigga, we gon' handle business. And pray to God shots don't find no kids or women. But you ain't had no feelings and Pac was my nigga. I ride for my nigga. Wax snitching, the gat clicking. Just listen, he put that murder on Diddy hands or Jimmy Hinchman. The plot thicken, you die quicker, I'm not stitches. Pray to Afeni and kiss the feet of Pac's sister. My little niggas is out looking, the clown woofing. We drown niggas with tech rounds, we fly crippin'. The sky different, my mind flipping, he flamed up. The feds got him disguised different, the blind us. Put his face on the t-shirt. Put his face on the t-shirt. Call the little homies, let's ski skirt. Show the square nigga how we work. Face on the t-shirt. Put his face on the t-shirt. Show the square nigga how we work. Call the little homies, let's ski skirt. Put his face on the t-shirt. Throw the bodies in the landfill. Yeah, lead the traffic at a standstill. Yeah, cannons got him running like a fire drill. Yeah, the landscape cost $250,000. Yeah, coke all on me like $1 bill. Hella mud, stay afloat, nigga cracking seals. Yeah, crackers want a body, Ronnie Bobby Seals. Maserati redlining how the Molly feel. Yeah, niggas on top, so we hard to kill. If I don't pop your melon, one of my niggas will. Fuck a snitch, fuck a rat, fuck a tattletale. Old school like Cadillacs and Lagerfield. Hella shots, nigga, you could get your nana peel. Chopsticks out the window on my mama now. Chopsticks out the window on my mama now. Me and my girlfriend. Put his face on the t-shirt. Put his face on the t-shirt. Call the little homies, let's ski skirt. Show the square nigga how we work. Face on the t-shirt. Put his face on the t-shirt. Show the square nigga how we work. Call the little homies, let's ski skirt. Put his face on the t-shirt.
I can't explain why I shine and no one else shines. I think everybody shines in different things. And a lot of things I can't do. I can't play basketball like every other black person in America. I know how to go to that true spot in myself because I'm there every day. I can be me. I can be whoever because I'm true to me. I can go to neutral easily. A lot of people, black, white, Mexican, young or old, fat or skinny, have a problem being true to themselves. They have a problem looking in the mirror and looking directly into their own soul. The reason I sell 6 million records, the reason I can go to jail and come out without a scratch, the reason I can walk around, the reason I am who I am today is because I can look directly into my face and find my soul. It's there. It's not sold. I didn't sell it. It's still within me. I still feel it. My heart is still connected to my body. That intensity, that truth, that honesty. weaknesses come from God. Come from Black Jesus.
Black, white.
Smell a serpent in the room and a sign that you can never fake. Promise I'ma lift you with llamas and watch you levitate. Rats cash checks with devils, shall I elaborate? Niggas sue the fiending, now Gonze spitting in every face. You can see the beauty of it when you see the loogie coming. Niggas paid whack, nigga, with the movie budget. It's in color, you niggas scribbling crayon. More blouse rappers, tough getting the gay on. Taking Quavo shots draped in rayon. Here rapping about dope in a crock pot, but only got a purse and a laptop. Thinking about pockets, hard nigga to reminisce. Nigga on the chart said they Pac wearing lipstick. No new Pac, cause the nigga missed. Move top, black fist when you think of this. Go against the grain, niggas hang from the obvious. Niggas getting killed for the obvious. We was friends, then they turned to the bophomus. Here, white boys and broken promises. Here, it don't take an optometrist. Here, nigga horns over halo. Pesos, obvious. With Lil Chris showed them what a body is. Out to Riverside, nigga, rider meds. I can smell a serpent in the room, mama. These niggas tryna eat my food, mama. They even turned on you, mama. These niggas used to be cool, mama. What am I to do, mama? These niggas tryna eat my food, mama. They even turned on you, mama. I smell a serpent in the room, mama. Serpent in the room, hide your purses. The vultures in the culture they consume in costumes. Inertia, the charts rotate with men that wear dresses and the trustless niggas listen. Who are you? Is the question. You a slave to material things. Pay attention. Curious to why the hood poured lean. It's a blessing. Lay it down like the perm on the reverend. On your head like Excedrin to your script. With the message we infected, God bless us. Everybody dying on the record. Bullets frying niggas rich, cause we lying on the record. No Beniti gave they sold to the devil as a present. Any second niggas frying in the fire with conviction. Squeezing till my trigger finger get blisters. No ambulance, no stitches. Horns over halo business. Stay low and keep firing. Pictures with Sean Combs, you niggas in the closet. I can smell a serpent in the room, mama. These niggas tryna eat my food, mama. They even turned on you, mama. These niggas used to be cool, mama. What am I to do, mama? These niggas tryna eat my food, mama. They even turned on you, mama. I smell a serpent in the room, mama. 30 pieces of silver. Yeah, that's all it took. Not gold, silver. 30 pieces of silver for Judas to turn on Jesus. So they say. Matthew 26, 15, New Testament. Watch your friends. Watch the enemy. They don't want to see you ride. They can care less if you eat. They love when you stress. They want to tear you down. And these are the people that you're calling your friends. These are your friends? Well, if you got friends like this, you don't need any. You don't need any. If these are your friends.
2 tears in the bucket, I cry with you. But I can never lie with you. I can never afford not to afford. I can never put my plans to the side with you. I can never see a red light like I did with the headlight. I freeze up when I re-up. See, I barely have patience, and you're relating. Only the moment to complete us. Why you hate to work for it? Went to work for it. See, a 9 to 5 was so time turkey, but when Thanksgiving came, Shakespeare hurt me. You plead the fifth, I read the Fifth Amendment. We both criminals with bad intention. They say time heals all, but if I could shortcut my success, Corvettes, but I'm all, But why you so sad? Walking around with them blue faces. They say I'm down on my luck, and it's something I gotta have. Blue faces. I hit the bank today and tell them color me bad. Blue faces. Get that new money, and it's breaking me down. My homegirl got a credit card scam. She got a scholarship to college, but she don't give a damn. Intuition got a black woman wishing. She sends this on the phone with the news in the pen. I know you, woman, I console you, woman. You feel like the universe owes you, woman. Oh, the anticipation. Hoping you can make it. Women don't prosper, chase an education. But you're talented and can't handle it. And your homegirl can't be your manager. 365 times 4 plus more. Can't get it right, tell me, do you got the stamina? But ain't no money like fast money. Even today I'm considered a crash dummy. A rapper chasing stardom. How can I fast forward my accolades better than all them? But why I'm so sad, walking around with them blue faces. They say I'm dead on my luck, and it's something I gotta have. Blue faces. I hit the bank today and tell them color me bad. Blue faces. Get that new money, and it's breaking me down to the top. I love God, I love speed, I love drink, I love me, I love oceans in the deep, I love women who need God. But I'm scared of Godspeed. Sometimes broke this song, looking at a broke home, maybe. Broke home, baby. You know the poverty stricken, the little broke born, baby. Broke born, baby. Somebody said can't drink American, they show it's crazy. And I said, why? Then he looked me in the eye and said, homie, you messed up. You're begging on good luck, you're wishing for miracles. Living through ish, you're crying hysterical. Set up for everything, complaining about everything. Save your soul, crack my world, amphetamine. Your project ain't it. I live in a hut. You're living to keep warm. I'm living to pay rent. I paid my way through. Playing an eye lie, you played your way through. Dealing with Wi-Fi, for ish yourself and talking to strangers. Same thing goes for the ones you came with. We all came on a boat looking for hope. And all you can say is that you're looking for dope. These days ain't no compromise. Your pain ain't my path to time. A brand new excuse ain't nothing to me. See, I made my moves with shackled feet. Cape Town, Cape Town, Cape Town, Cape Town, Cape Town, Cape Town, Cape Town. Cornrow Kenny arm winner with the mixed dashboard, triple digits. Winner with the mixed dashboard, triple digits. Cornrow Kenny. So many plays on me, I finesse. Kinda same views with some sex. I lost a lot of love for missionary. This the first time I react. Me and Top is like a Kobe and Bill. A father figure, play with him, you get killed. Play with me and he'll keep you himself. TDE, the mafia, the West. Moving silence, yeah, we jugging like that. Active violence, yeah, we jugging like that. I did a lot of dumb things in my past. Love forgive me, hoping I don't relapse. Damn, just bought a new 911. Almost thought I seen another plane crash. You just bought a brand new McLaren. Rockin' like a about to buy the project. Cause you got it short, drippin' and gold. Me, I'm about to let my hair down the hole. I ain't about to let his hair down the hole. Top billing, that's $1 million to show. Might blow the whole no whammy your soul. Might tell him I'm on people like punch. Down where he gotta carry this year. Back rock, Benny do what he wants. Level 2, no, I'm not done. You ain't gotta tell me that I'm the one. I can put a rapper on life support. Guarantee something that none of you want. Then hold me down and they y'all to relax. But it's like 2,500 a month. What if I empty my bank out of stuff? What if I empty my bank out of stuff? You ain't gotta tell me that I'm the one. You ain't gotta tell me that I'm the one. You ain't gotta tell me that I'm the one. You ain't got tell me that I'm the one. You ain't got tell me that what I'm the one. Yes, I'm the one.
One nigga landed on the roof, first bar. Fashion week teeth, I couldn't trip the bitch.
Whips a fish, leave the kitchen, gave my wrist a kiss. Phone clicking shit, I got all of these licks to hit. Hello? Griselda bitch, you see we getting rich.
My first day home, I got a blick. Fiends on the doorstep. Which nigga stepped on my wings, we left the porch wet. Hey yo, which nigga stepped on my wings, we left the porch wet.
And what's left of his brains was on the porch steps. Razor hit his neck in his vein, nigga, I tore flesh.
Hey yo, seen him on Perry, hopped out the Corvette. His brains landed on Ferry, he didn't snort yet. Yo, Geiger, I need more checks.
More or less, we we all fresh. Teaching 97s, I'm a rhyming legend. Young and fire's weapon, and slide a shell inside your melon.
The rainfall, the melon hold the ceiling. Loaded biscuits on cold to finish. The loafers ball constrictor, the cold to lift up. The estimation of fortune 4. This shit so pure.
Cash shorty the plate, I told her sniff some more. The plug sister, we kicked his door and ripped his floor. We left out with bricks and more. Celebrate with a fifth from the liquor store and sip some more. I pop biscuits off your top, I lift it off. Conway,
The world is yours.
you know what the fuck is up, nigga?
The world is yours.
Best to be 5B, real nigga shit.
And they want to get rid of me because they're jealous of me. My whole life, everybody's been jealous of me. Everybody's been worried about me my whole life. They've done this to me. They've done this to me. You call me Weasel either, pal. No, I didn't. I said you're paranoid. No, you called me Weasel and I heard you. I want to sit down in that chair. I want to guide my men. I don't want to get in there. I don't want some guy 7'4" putting his dirty, filthy hands on me. I don't want some hillbilly putting his dirty, foreign hands on me. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Now, you think it's a handicap because there's 2 of you against 3 of us. It's a handicap in Europe. It's a handicap in Europe. It's a handicap in Europe.
Look, AMG 63 driver, blood bottoms match the pedals, shit is street tires. Please try us, nigga, we fire. Keep firing, don't cease fire. Fucking pull out his teeth with these pliers. You pussy, you can't even take a seat by it. My respect not only demanded, it's required. You fucking with a $2,000 sneak buyer. Such and such and them was winning cause Zelda leaped by.
Hey yo, club salmon and oyster. Your cocaine shit, you can tell by the moisture. 3-man sales, I had the most mail. Selling cracks in the rain. Fiends on the Stone Island coattails. Pitty on Rodale. The Wayne Gate cheap cop more Yale. Big face Prezi on the yard. Soon as the fucking doors pop, stab a guard. Be my eye now with wide cuts. I know some real trash that'll chop your arm off. But if I can ride launch, time's up, 5 talk. Rachel Wolf, 5 look. Caught him at the showers for 5 books. 5B. Hey yo, caught him at the showers for 5 books. 5B.
You probably wonder why. Well, you know, anytime you manage winners, anytime you are a winner, anytime you're on top, there's always controversy. Look at the New York Yankees, world champions in baseball. Look at all the controversy they have with Reggie Jackson, Billy Martin. There's always going to be press on you. There's always going to be people knocking you. There's always going to be people that are jealous of you.
What it do, y'all? It's King Eric the Great, and you're now tuned in at the return of Off the Cuff Radio after a 2-week hiatus. I got my man Illa the Sandman here.
1, 2, 1, 2.
That's right. And we may be joined by guys. Yeah, man, 2-week hiatus.
Oh man, it feels refreshing right now.
Yes, indeed, man. We had to play it safe because we had all these weather troubles. But nevertheless, we're back.
And, you know, our love and prayers go out to everybody out there during this hurricane season. It's been real brutal. You know, all of our families have been affected by it. You know, especially, my family's from St. Thomas, and they got affected from both of the hurricanes, from Hurricane Irma and I think it's Hurricane Maria. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But they got affected by 2 hurricanes, and right now in St. Thomas, it just looks a mess. You know, it's muddy water all over the place. Thank God there's not a lot of buildings or houses destroyed, but there's a lot of muddy water all over the place. So hopefully find a way to drain that water out, because remind you, there's no sewers in St. Thomas. You know, St. Thomas is an island, so it's going to be a task to basically get all that muddy water out of the around St. Thomas. So blessed up. That's it, man. It's a real sad time right now.
Yeah, man, we definitely send our prayers and condolences out to the victims out there and the family.
Yeah, man. Florida, you know, they just had the earthquake out there. We had the earthquake out again.
Matter of fact, it was in New Zealand. It was in New Zealand and it was in Japan.
Was it Japan? I think it was,
yeah.
But it was a real big earthquake, you know. So we like to joke around in the show a lot, but we definitely want to show our peace and love to everybody out there. You can only fathom what you guys are going through. Let me move.
Yeah, man, that's all we can do, man. And it doesn't help either way that media has been pretty much crazy in regards to the coverage.
Yeah.
But what we gonna do now? We're gonna take a call right here. We
got a call? Okay.
Right quick.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're gonna take a call right quick.
Okay. First call of the night.
757, you on?
Dynamic duo with the guillotine, King Eric and Illa. What's going on? Y'all know this T-Max from VA. What up?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Lounging. Once again, I hear y'all waxing so poetically, elegantly, the sentiments of the world. Once again, our prayers to, our islanders out of St. Thomas, in Dominica, and also to the Far East Fresh of Japan. That earthquake that actually hit was, I believe, on the 6.5 Richter scale. It was about 125 miles, I believe, north of Fukushima.
Damn.
So, obviously we're not going to know the full ramifications, but,
Did that earthquake make history on the Richter scale?
No. Well, 6.5 is serious, but usually when they get to the 9.5 range, that's when you're talking about real damage. But anything 6 and up is serious. But when you get to the nines, that's like, when it's to the nines, that's bad.
That's like,
but
Incredible Hulk punching the ground type shit.
Yeah, that's when you start seeing like seismic shifts. But one thing about our Asian brother. One thing I say about our Asian brothers and sisters over there, it's the Japanese way that no matter what happens, that they keep going. And the same thing with our brown sisters and brothers in Mexico, they're going to rebuild it. And the same thing with our island brothers and sisters in the islands, they're going to rebuild.
That's what was that, right? The earthquake. It was in Mexico, right? The earthquake was over there also, right?
Yeah, it's in Mexico. Yes, it's in Mexico.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to. That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah, it was Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But, while we chopping it up here, I think we have our guest of the night on there, a man from the legendary group Kausion. And he's doing his own thing right now, my man Gonzo. Yeah, brother.
Yo, what up with you?
What's going on, brother?
What's going on with y'all, man?
Lounge.
Trying to keep our head above water.
That's
That's
what's up.
It's been a real traumatic end of a summer, with the whole hurricane season and earthquakes and certain people passed it. So it's been a real trying couple of 3 weeks.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, with the weather and all that shit, that's that government control shit. That's that HARP shit, man. Some shit called HARP. So where, these motherfuckers are able to manipulate the weather in certain certain bursts.
I heard about that also. I heard about that too, but naturally around this time it is hurricane season. So it's not like That's something out the ordinary. It's, you know, around this time it's always like, you know, you get the tropical storms and stuff like that, like around like the late August, you know, beginning of September.
Man, I don't know, man. I'm just in the mood of, I'm blaming everything on Trump. I don't give a fuck. I catch the cold. Trump
Look, Obama's sitting there like, ain't none of this stuff happened in 8 years that I was in office.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Actually, it has been happening. It's been happening since anybody was in office. You know, around that time, it's talking about.
We talking about how many oil. We talking about who oil he trying to jack this time around.
Well, wait, hold on, Gonzo. Wait, there's a lot of noise in the background where you at. So can you like try to get away from that? Cause we want to hear
like
you
what?
loud and clear.
Like what y'all hear? Is that better?
It's not like a TV or something. Like you're on a TV or something.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better.
I bet.
But yeah,
now,
man, we welcome you aboard to the show, man. We appreciate you joining, man. And first of all, man, we want to know, man, what's been going on with Gonzo? I know you got a new album out and everything, so what can people expect from that?
Well, you know, from the first song to the last song, you know what I mean, this shit is, it ain't no album fillers on there, you know what I mean? You know, like, it's a solid project. And you know, people could actually go find it anywhere music is streamed and downloaded. You know what I mean? Go check that out for yourself. You know what I mean? It's called The Code. You know, solid project. You know, everybody that's downloaded it or streamed it or bootlegged it, they you know, they liked it. You feel me? And
I like that name. I like that name, The Code. Like, what would you explain? Like, basically, the album explains what the code is?
Well, the album, it basically, the code, it was a cat named Whack 100, you know what I mean? I was working on some whole other shit. And, close the door, son.
We know about Whack. We know about Whack.
Yeah. So, I was working on some whole other shit, and he started talking some reckless shit about Pac, so I made a song called Face on the T-Shirt that was addressing that situation, and you know it done well, and people started asking for a project to go with it, so I just whipped up another 13 songs that was around the subject, you know what I mean, and dropped it.
Okay.
Man.
He just named it The Code?
Well, I mean, it the code of basically the outlaw niggas that I was fucking with, you know what I mean, Edie and Noble. It is a code. I don't want to really get into it because it's a whole lot of shit that's explaining this, that cats, you know what I mean, that, you know, I really don't want to just give away too much, but it is a code that motherfuckers live by, that was structured, that motherfucker actually, you know, took an oath to, and they broke that code by ignoring the disrespect from Whack 100 just because they were trying to stay under the radar for being involved in the movie. Like, it was a whole underlying shit of why he was even doing all that. They was paying him with a budget of the movie to actually smut pop and just do all this old weird Hollywood gay fucking back room Jew boy shit, culture vulture shit, to fuck, you know, to fuck this man's name up, you know what I mean, for a movie that no one's talking about. Months later, nobody's talking about this movie, and this is like one of the iconic figures of our generation, let alone Black America. So it was much deeper than rap. I felt like that they broke the code. So to reiterate what the code was, you know what I mean, I kind of touched on a few things on that album.
One more question I want to ask you. So I know you talk about this on the album, like, because if we talk about this on the album, that's the real good thing, you know. That'll be a real good angle. Cause
yeah, I did.
Because what you said, a lot of people don't really talk about that. A lot of people don't really talk about how they besmirched the whole All Eyes on Me All Eyes on Me movie. A lot of people, because a lot of people sit there and say, oh, it's whack. Especially a lot of rappers, they'll sit there and say, oh, it was whack. But if those same rappers wouldn't make a song about it saying how whack it was. So you probably the only one that really build on that.
Well, I mean, honestly, bro, I seen the movie, but I couldn't even watch that shit because it was just such a bad representation of who he was, actually. So it was a disgusting fucking, what I did stomach. It was just disgusting to watch it, and it was, it was one of those things where it was just put together for money. You know what I mean? And the people who actually put the movie together, LT, he really didn't fuck with Pac. That wasn't like Pac's boy. He probably hung around Pac 5 times in his life, maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe. Like, he didn't hang around Pac at all. Like, he stopped Pac outside the fucking studio and, hop in the car with Pac and listen to beats there, but it wasn't like a situation where Pac and LT was ever riding around with each other, hanging out in the club with each other, over each other's house. None of that type shit. So to see LT end up with the rights to this movie was already a red flag because that's Snoop's boy. Like, LT is Snoop's nigga. So if if anybody had any sense to their brain, they would know, you know what I mean, with LT and Snoop's relationship, with LT always being a do boy, to where, you could speculate that, who these private investors was, while you see Puffy, having a private screening of All Eyes on Me with the Ciroc shit and all the shit and all the product placement in the movie and just hella shit that certain people shouldn't be making money off this man's name. It was just a violation. I don't give a fuck what was going on.
in the movie?
I mean, they had a Ciroc private screening. Now, I mean, this is a movie.
Okay.
This is a movie, though. So if you look hard enough, I'm pretty sure you're going to...
And you already knew Pac didn't fuck with Diddy on that level for him to even do that. Like, we all knew, us growing up listening to Pac never rolled with Diddy, so... You know what I'm saying? So that is some bullshit right there.
I mean, here's the whole thing, bro. Like, let's keep it 1,000. If the Biggie movie, let's just say the Biggie movie, if I don't know, the Tupac estate. See, the whole thing is this, bro. Biggie and Pac, that shit is like water under the bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it was a fucking movie about Puffy Combs, stop doing that, son. I'm doing an interview. My bad, yo. Get out of here. Go. If it was a movie about Suge Knight and Puffy fucking was the executive producer, or vice versa, a movie about Puffy and Suge was the executive producer, you know what I mean? It's like, that's already foul play, you know what I mean? That's a conflict of interest.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, it was a lot of things that was surrounding this movie and the budget of this movie for them to get, what was it, $33 million to shoot the movie, and they shot the movie with $3 million and used $30 million for payroll, or something along those lines, $27 million for payroll.
Yeah.
And, so it was like a high-priced music video with Hype Williams or whoever, not Hype Williams, Benny Boom or whatever. It was like a fucking, it was like a music video. The shit was rushed. It was cheap looking. And it was a bad representation for one of the most iconic figures of our time, especially as black men. That was a critical time for us to level up. You know what I mean? So that was my gripe with it.
What about the dude that actually played Pac? Like, what's his name? Demetrius Shipp? What's his name, King?
Demetrius Shipp Jr., yes.
Demetrius Shipp.
Yeah. Well, how do you think he portrayed Pac? You think he did a good job or not?
I really think all the actors done a good job. What they was, because they was given some bullshit. They didn't know Pac. You feel me? So with what they were given, I feel like they done a good job. That was his first time actually acting. You know what I mean? He's a black man. He needs a career in this business. This is what he want to do. So you can't shit on the kids that was in the movie. You can't shit on the motherfuckers that, was just trying to put food on their table. But at the upper echelon of this shit, the people who know better, the people who know me and I know them personally, you know what I mean? That was some foul shit. You know what I mean? That was some real foul shit. The equivalent of one of your niggas dying, you know what I mean? And his little sister was 6 years old when he died, and you wait till the bitch till she 18 and you start fucking her. Foul. Like, you know what I mean? Like, foul shit. Like, some shit is just foul, bro. You can't really put a cap on some shit. You foul and you done it for the money. Now that the money's gone, your integrity's fucked up. You can't come back to L.A. and just ride around and chill like that no more. Like, niggas just, you know what I mean? It's fucked up.
Yeah. Definitely. Gonzo, Thomas, a.k.a. T-Max from Virginia. How you doing?
Man, I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Good. And if, if I could ask a couple questions as well. First off, I want to say everything you and Kausion did throughout the 90s. I mean, that was some of the essence of what made the 90s. I think y'all really helped to define that era for the West Coast in terms of the resurgence of a lot of groups coming out that were really putting on, along the lines of Exhibit and all of them. And I can hear the passion and the panache in your voice because you were around that time when Pac had come to the West Coast signing with Death Row Records. And even before then, him being down with Digital Underground in the Bay. So we're looking at two different parts of history from his history in West Coast rap, which rarely very many rappers can say that they had a career on both sides of it. And for that part, how was it for that era of what? Because I think for a lot of us on the East Coast, I'm in Virginia, we really can only speculate, but you all actually have the essence of where Pac was. Tell us about that energy that he brought to, Los Angeles during that 90s era.
Well, I mean, that's a good question because the energy of the city did change. You know what I mean? The energy of the city changed from, how could I say this without being, I can't really say it without saying it the way it is. The energy changed from being an NWA era that was so embedded in West Coast culture, you know what I mean? And it just, and the lineage even grew when Snoop Dogg came out and the Chronic came out, and Cube, he was basically doing his part, but Death Row was killing that shit. You know what I mean? We came out, we done our part, but Death Row was still killing it, even to the point of Suge managing us. So when Pac got out of jail, that whole NWA aura over the city and West Coast that we all had, it was like a changing of the guards. And the whole energy changed to, even at Death Row. You know what I mean? It changed from the Dr. Dre and the Snoop Dogg era to the Tupac era. You know what I mean? And it was the energy changed drastically, even to the point to where, some people didn't like it. Some people loved it and rode with it. I even think that that's the reason why Kausion only came out with one album, because at that time, Ice Cube, Pac was living. Cube's a very prideful person. You know what I mean? His main group, who's blowing up, is basically hanging out with Death Row. Every move that Death Row's making, we're making because Suge's managing us. So slowly but surely, you know what I mean, it looked like Death Row was kind of taking us from Lynch Mob. You know what I mean? It was just a weird fucking time to where people you know, they knew each other before we knew them. So Cube, you know, kind of, I don't want to say despised the situation, but the energy definitely what was tense, and you can cut the air with a knife, you know what I mean? And it was a changing of the guards from, you know, them being the kings of the city, the kings of the West Coast, to Pac being the king of the West Coast. And motherfuckers wasn't trying to just hand him over the crown. You know what I mean? They wasn't happy for him.
Well, yeah, and I think because Eric and myself, we have all talked about this, and Pac's impact on hip-hop culture was undeniable.
Hold on, wait. That sound is that background sound.
No. I have to go out my kids' room right quick. Go out. Stop.
The kids trying to soak that game up too.
Man. Yeah, daddy. I just got full custody of my 2-year-old, so my kids come on the road with me and shit.
Congratulations.
So we on the road and shit, and they in the other room going mainly. But go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
We promote fatherhood on Off the Cuff Radio. We promote fatherhood. You know what I'm saying?
Look, man.
On Off the Cuff Radio.
Man.
Daddy need love too.
Yeah, man. Daddy need love too, baby.
Look, you are the living embodiment of what Exhibit stood on the foundation, and your kids got a solid one with you. As I was asking, because all three of us have talked about this, and I think the biggest problem we had with the movie, in addition to the fact that everybody knows damn sure that there were no iPhones back in 1994,
right,
was also the fact
that's that product placement I was talking about. Like I'm pretty sure if you look close enough, you'll find some fucking Ciroc or something in there that Diddy is benefiting off of. I'm sure of it. I'll bet it.
But, King, but remember what I said though, King? At the end of the day, I don't care. This dude Pac was a prophet. So what if he had an iPhone 8? You know what I'm saying? He was spitting rhymes. He was spitting rhymes that was ahead of his time. He was talking about, you know what I mean? He was talking about President Bush before he was in office.
Word.
You know he was talking about Trump in an old interview, and look at him now.
Like,
man, you know what? I honestly say,
if I'm lying, y'all could go and look up the whole Chappelle Show skit when this dude Chappelle was at a club and they was listening to a new joint from Tupac. And when he said, I just wrote this a week ago. I just wrote this right now. I'm in the studio right now.
But really though, man, see, a lot of people was kind of like surprised that you came out of the woodwork. Because, you know, honestly, I was looking at it, it was very disappointing that nobody was really responding to the stuff Wack was saying. I don't know if it was fear or I don't know if it was some type of connection involved.
Man, I called all them
the
guys.
The first cat step
before
up.
I said anything, I called all them guys and was like, what the hell is going on? Because you notice I just put out a project before the code called Happy Birthday, maybe a month and a half before the code. And Noble was on there. He's on the first song. So we was talking about this shit for like 2 weeks before I said anything. But once he started talking about Afeni and just all the unpleasant things he was saying about her, and again, this is someone that I know personally, that I respect, that I knew personally, and you know what I mean, just the bond that Pac had with his mother and how my mother, and just, y'all have mothers. Somebody talking about one of your partner's mothers like that that's passed away, or somebody that shit was just out of control. So me being
when
an LA guy.
When he was talking about, when he was coming at Tretch Mom, when he said it, he was coming crazy. At
he was coming at Afeni.
He was talking about Afeni, man. He was.
I never heard that. Yeah,
I know we talked about
the nigga was saying some crazy stuff.
Because I remember when, when Trench was like the only one that everybody knew at the time was sticking up for Pac. And then Wack started talking about his mom's all crazy. Oh, your mom sucked dick. Come see me. I'm like, yo, what's up with this? Like, how old is this dude, B? Like, come on, my dude. Like, come on. You
man, see,
you
the whole
must be a grown man at the end of the day. And you going mad hard on another dude's moms and all that just for what? Just to get some Twitter followers, just to get some YouTube likes. And it's really come to this.
Just to get on Love and Hip Hop Los Angeles. Man, listen, this shit is way deeper than, like, motherfuckers be doing shit for the weirdest, fucking gayest reasons, man. Look, check this out. This motherfucker, you know why he was doing all that shit and still doing all this shit today? You know that's the game's manager and Ray J's manager, right?
Yeah.
And a whole lot of other motherfuckers. Well, I mean, these motherfuckers really be on their Love and Hip Hop tip. So he was trying to get his old ass on the cast to Love and Hip Hop, causing a frenzy and just saying whatever. You know what I mean?
So basically, it was a work. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with wrestling, but a work means like you don't really mean it. You just talking crazy just to get a reaction.
Trolling.
That's what
trolling.
Trolling. That's like a work. Yeah, you can say that.
Well, I mean, honestly, he didn't know Pac. Wack didn't know Pac. He wasn't around back then. Like, you know what I mean? And by some weird reason,
he was the guy who knew Pac.
Nah, man, listen to me, bro. This dude, that's a work right there. He didn't know Pac. You know what I mean? For a fact, he didn't know Pac. And I'll tell you why he didn't know Pac. He met Suge after Pac died. I met Wack when he first got out of jail. I was doing a fucking a Roger Troutman had just died or some shit, and we was doing like a Roger Troutman tribute album. And
that was in '99, give or take.
Somewhere around there. You feel me?
Yeah,
Pac had already died. You feel me? And this nigga was at the studio one day when I came over there to do my verse for this Roger Troutman tribute album. And he had just got out of jail. He was at the studio called Wolfpack Studios. This nigga named Wolf owned it. Wolf was actually the executive producer of the Roger Troutman tribute album. And he was like, yo, this is my little homie Wack. Or, no, Crash. I think the nigga named, or some dumb shit like that. He just got out of jail. And I'm like, all right, nigga, what up? You feel me? And keep walking in the studio. Now, that instance, you feel me? He's running around town telling niggas he know me. Even went on, so far as calling my phone. And I'm like, nigga, what's up with you? What's up with all this Pac shit? He like, nigga, fuck all, verbatim. This is what the nigga say. Fuck all the internet shit. You don't remember me? You don't remember that time? Like a fucking groupie, my nigga. So this nigga is really a fucking a bona fide weirdo. You know what I mean?
So you mean to tell me? So then it's not a work then because he really thoroughly believes that he actually met you or met Pac. So
well,
that means
I did meet the nigga in passing, but as grown ass men, you know what I mean? First off, let me tell you something, bro. We booked Pac when I was in high school. Like we used to throw these parties in high school, and we booked this nigga before. You feel me? Cost us $8,000 in high school. I never after I met the nigga Pac like officially. You feel me? I never brought that shit up till hella long later that I met him before. That's some groupie shit. Like honestly, you know what I mean? Just that shit's not a good look, but it makes sense because the niggas he hang around with, the niggas that he managed, all these niggas is like, it's a weird crowd of dudes who might do anything. They might pop a pill and get in bed with each other, or like niggas. Like I'm serious, bro. Like you gotta look. Like listen, I'm telling you some real shit.
Then.
Like motherfuckers that's fucking with the Def Jam card back in the day.
For those that's listening,
anybody that was under Leor Cohen and Puff Daddy, You feel me? And you know, it's a certain element of, I don't know, and Clyde Davis. You gotta understand. Let's look at all these motherfuckers who got deals, and I even go back to Will Smith, bro. You feel me? Like all these motherfuckers who they getting deals from, who putting them on, are dudes who have some shit called the director's couch. To where these motherfuckers, you know, Clyde Davis, Puffy, Andre Harrell, all these motherfuckers are known homosexuals. Now, I don't have nothing against gay people. Feel me? I'm not the one who's creating people, so I can't hate anyone on this earth. All I know is it's a person that you respect. That's someone who's out in the open and who they are, and another person who's in the closet and manipulating society. I got 2 boys. I got sons. You feel me? They rapping all this shit. But now they're going to sneak a dress in there, sneak a purse in there, sneak a blouse in there. This shit is getting too far now.
Definitely.
This is the thing I wanted to build on with that, though. Like, because, like what you said, I'm not here to judge anybody. We're not here to judge anybody. You know, I hate when motherfuckers sit there and say they're not gay and they're sitting there and they're wearing a dress. That's what confuses kids even more. Because they feel like, it's like, okay, I don't understand. Like, what's, you know, because if you gay, you gay. It is what it is. You know, you're a gay rapper, you're a gay rapper, you know, like with Young Thug or whatever the case may be. But don't sit here and, you know, say you smoking dicks and, you know, and you wearing dresses and you're going to sit there and say, oh, I'm not gay. Oh, I got a girlfriend. So what? You can have a girlfriend and be gay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
I'm just saying is like,
I just feel like, as men in hip-hop, brother, you feel me, this was something that we created way back in the day to bring truth to our show.
It was a no-no. It was definitely a no-no.
I mean, whoever you are, be who you are. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, okay, for instance, Lil Yachty, this guy, you know, he's selling albums to kids. All his fans, all his fans is kids. So now, you know, as an executive over there, selling Lil Yachty's project, I would just put myself in Coach K's shoes. And Lil Yachty comes to me and he says, I want my album cover. I want 2 guys on there kissing. I want this. I want that. I want everything that's backwards about society on this album cover. That was my opportunity to be Superman for the younger generation to say, no, I'm not putting this out there. You feel me? But for the dollars,
got an album cover like that?
Lil Yachty.
I think that's Lil Yachty album cover, right? Like somebody's it's like 2 dudes making out in the movie theater or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's all sort of shit on there. It's all sort of stuff on there that's just inappropriate.
And then when they sit there and say, oh, I'm not gay, so why don't you put that in your album cover? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I just don't understand, because it's like, if you're not gay, then why do gay things?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And my problem with hip-hop, bro, even if you go to Lil Uzi Vert's page right now, every picture that he takes, it's a gay expression that's attached to it. Like, everything is promoting homosexuality. No bullshit.
He's not lying. He's not lying. He is not lying.
Like, every little thing that they do, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Even your toughest rappers, man. I even caught Meek Mills in a couple of pictures. I'm like, who's the fucking stylist who's telling these dudes to do this?
He's not a tough guy,
Gonzo, I know you're talking about that Gucci. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about that Gucci outfit he had on.
About, bro. Like, what
and the shoes, too. I was like,
hold on. Stop it.
Hold on, hold on one second. I think we have Mr. Chill on. That's our other co-host.
Okay.
You there?
What it do? How y'all doing tonight? Y'all got me cracking up laughing. I promise.
Hey.
Yay.
Hey, I've been missing y'all. Hey, you know I was missing y'all, but I was listening, but I was trying to multitask. But look, y'all talking about the toughest of the toughest. y'all gonna have to answer me one question, because this ain't the first time I heard about this. Well, I got somebody that live in L.A., one of my cousins, and they always talking about anybody in Atlanta from hip hop, most of them gay, and the people in L.A. that you would think wasn't is. But look, y'all talking about the toughest of the toughest, and I know Gonzo got a lot to say, so I'm gonna just ask him straight out. Is my niggas at G Unit? Please don't tell me none of them hard ass niggas gay, cause nigga, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna cry right now.
Who?
G Unit. G Unit.
G Unit.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you know what? Honestly, this is like that's like some shit that I really don't have information on, because I ain't gay. You feel me? I'm not gay.
I don't know about that.
So whatever circles that they running around in L.A., I really don't know about, because Young Buck is from Memphis. But I did hear some shit about that. You know what I mean? But people could be just throwing some smut. If I'm speaking on somebody, I know for a fact. You feel me? Like I know for a fact.
That's why I asked you, because there's a bunch of rumors back in the day, but as far as knowing people that know people, I ain't heard nothing to prove it. So I'm just saying, that's my group right there. I love them and all of that. I don't give a damn what nobody say. They still hitting records, and I love them. I just, I got to ask, because you
got to get those clarifications.
We was beefing with them, too. We was beefing with them for a minute, too. So I really don't if I had some information.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Yo.
First and foremost, let's, Trichilla, we all are just glad that you're safe, because, you went through the hurricane and all that shit, and we glad that you still here chopping it up with us. And actually, it's been over a year since she's been down with the Gillis team, y'all. So, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
A 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
It's been
over a year.
Oh, that's what's up. I ain't really having fun, man, and I've been having fun on this show, so it just flew by me. I didn't realize it.
Yo, since we giving shout-outs, I want to give a shout-out to everybody in the Northwest, you know what I mean, everybody in Seattle, everybody in Idaho, everybody in Oregon. I'm in the area right now, you know what I mean. We up here working right now. Tech 9 about to pull up and do a show up in Seattle, and I don't know, maybe a week. Y'all know better than I do, but I'm in the area right now doing verses. I got beats for y'all. I'm working, man. You know what I mean? Promoting. I'm doing radio right now, pulling up, doing DJ drops. Whatever the situation is, y'all know how to contact me, 213-973-2416. Holler at your boy.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna need that drop. We're gonna need that off the cuff radio drop.
Yeah.
Y'all got that off the break.
That's what it do.
Hey, before we get off the hurricane tip, I gotta send a shout out to all the people in the Keys. I know they went through it more than Houston did. You know what I'm saying? Houston went through it. Corpus Christi, they went through it. All the surrounding areas. Everybody that was able to survive it, shout out to y'all. Everybody who lost somebody in the few stories that were lost, and my condolences go out to you, because this shit was unprecedented. And I don't know what the fuck the world going through right now, but I definitely got to give a shout out to all the survivors and everybody that lost loved ones and all the souls that was lost.
True. And you know what? Another thing too. Shouts go out to the entertainers that contributed money to when it comes to the relief, when it comes to the hurricanes and stuff.
Shout out to Trey the Truth especially.
Yeah. And Trey the Truth had to get rescued himself. Before he started rescuing, Trey the Truth had to get rescued himself. So once he got rescued, and he even said it, it was a humbling experience for him. So shit, he went out there, he did what he could. He got people that I think he didn't even know, they just hit him up on the gram or something. And he got them out there with their boats, and they started doing it. They had a bunch of celebrities, a bunch of public figures that got out there. Some people signed like they said they got out there and didn't. Trump talking about he was going to donate $1 million, but since it wasn't going to be a tax write-off, he didn't. So fuck them niggas. But the ones that helped, even J.J. Watt, he put together a fund. He got everybody contributing. Then people could hit J.J. Watt on the gram or wherever. You know what I'm saying? And he reached back out to him and he go help him. And what you know what I'm saying, trying to get money and then even your boy Mattress Mac. Mattress Mac gave people his real cell phone number and hit him if you're in distress. People like that, you gotta give respect to. I don't give a damn who you got it for, if you don't like hip hop, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
In traffic time,
a few people done put up bread. A few people done. I think Mayweather put up bread. I think Mayweather put up bread. Who else put up bread?
And they time, because time is just a bread.
I think DJ Khaled put up bread. A few people don't put up bread. Entertainers, you know, like so. That's a lot of people like put. Especially when it comes to radio outlets, they never want to talk about when certain entertainers put money into good stuff. They always want to talk about this artist just bought.
Somebody
this,
got a red.
You know, they just
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
Hold on, wait, stop it. Somebody is killing me right now. Somebody listening to heavy metal or something or Rugrats right now on their TV. Word. Now it's gone. We good now. We good.
Yeah. Where you gonna say, Gon? Because you was gonna chime in.
I was saying that Bun B done this thing too.
Yeah,
Bun B done this thing too. Yep.
See, Port Arthur went through it too. Port Arthur and Beaumont caught it after Houston did. So shit, they was going through it too. Shouts out to all them cities. It's too many cities to even name. That's the problem.
As a matter of fact, Gonzo, didn't Bun B? He like put like a whole team together, didn't he? I think it was like a collective effort, and they all put their money. And it wasn't only Bun B; it was Bun B and a few other people, like a coalition.
Hold on a second. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah, but I think that's what Bun B did. Bun B basically he got a few people together, and he's like a coalition, and they all put together like a I think it was like a fundraiser or something like that, and all the proceeds went to the hurricane victims,
right.
Stuff like that, because a lot of people always talking about all these rappers out here want to be buying all this flashy stuff, but they never want to give back to the community. So sometimes they do.
But you know what? And a lot of them do it without being public about it, and that's the coolest part about it. When you're doing it and it's not for show, when you do it underground and behind the scenes, to me, that's more admirable. A lot of people don't know what they're talking about because they don't see what people are really doing. But not everybody is doing it for a publicity stunt or for promotional reasons. People sometimes people really
Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's just like a natural ritual. Speaking of that, you know what I mean, in terms of when you grow up in those situations, it's kind of natural, and everybody grows up in their situation. They don't always give back. So let me not say that. But myself, personally speaking from experience of being raised for at least 2 years in a battered woman's shelter with my mom, the equivalent of being homeless, you know what I mean? So every time the kids grow out of something or, I get an extra few dollars in my pocket or buying a few outfits for the kids, I always got to take it and drop it off to a specific shelter that I grew up in that's still open in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? That I got a personal connection to. So, my phone, and no one was ever, I don't ever go in there with my phone and try to film it. And because these people that live in there, they people too. You feel me? They got Instagram. They got the internet too. So they don't want you to come in there and blowing up their spot, letting people see where they got to live at, and I mean, it's just a weird situation. I know how I felt when people tried to come in there and with news cameras or whatever the situation was. Like, I didn't want my friends at school knowing that I lived in a battered women's shelter.
It's embarrassed to. It's a little embarrassed to.
Yeah, exactly, and everything ain't for show, man. So I feel her on that.
Real talk.
For sure.
And then, you know, they still got places underwater in Houston, and they still got a bunch of people living in shelters in Houston. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people went Facebook Live and was reporting that situation. But I know a lot of people that don't want any cameras in their face, they don't want anybody coming to them talking about nothing. All they want is people back in their house. If you ain't got some insurance money, some kind of real resources to put them back in their house, they don't want to hear nothing what niggas got to say. They ain't trying to get that 15 minutes of fame like that. All they want to do is get back to living normal. And so, shit, I feel you on this. And sorry that you had to go through all of that. I'm glad you made it out and made it the person you were in spite of all of that. That's right.
Yeah, well, I don't really even consider it as it was a step up because we was in the streets before that. You know what I mean? Daddy had been gone for 5 or 6 years, so he wasn't beating on my mom. You know what I mean? It was the remnants of just having some of the past and having somewhere to go without having to her having to pay for a damn motel every day. So, you know, it's all a process.
Feel that.
And how do you get your finding within music, like, you know, as your outlet?
You said in the beginning or just now?
In the beginning.
Well, in the beginning, like I said, I was you know, mom's was we was having a rough time, and she had ended up going. She had got a job working for the school board, a part-time job working for the school board. So that part-time job turned into full-time, and we got a little one-bedroom apartment. And you know, she was saving money and shit, and she decided to go out one weekend. So when she went out this weekend, she met this dude that was in the Navy. So once she met him, he started coming over to the house and stuff. And one weekend he was over to the house. My friend came through and was like, "Man, you want to come to the studio with us?" And I'm like, "The studio?" You know, I didn't know shit about that. And he was like, "Yeah, it's $60 an hour." So I'm like, the fuck costs $60 an hour? So I'm thinking, okay, well, that killed it for me. I know I'm not going. I don't got $60. Mom's ain't forking over $60. So, like I said, the dude was over there, and he was like, yeah, I'll give you $60. So he gave me the $60, you know what I mean, in front of my mom and shit, trying to gain some points, I guess, or whatever. And I went to the studio. And that one song that I laid that day, Ice Cube ended up hearing that one song and wanted to sign whoever was on that song to a record deal. And that's who Kausion was. That's how we got our deal.
That's what it is. Now, when y'all did Bounce Rock Skate, when y'all did that, did you have any idea? In Eric, you know, already, you know, asked about how you got in the studio. Take us and the listeners through the process of everything, like actually putting the album together and even shooting the video for what you're gonna do, please.
Right.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, okay, so bam, we done the song, and then, you know, no one was expecting anything. We were still in high school, you know what I mean? We just was making a song. I don't even know why the fuck we was making a song. I was playing football. You know, I didn't hear nothing about this song for 6 months. One day, I mean, because the dudes in Kausion, we went to the same school, but we never hung out together, and we wasn't friends, you know what I mean? We was just associates in passing, and I used to sell him weed. So that's how that happened. He came to my house to buy some weed that day and asked me that I want to come to the studio. But anyway, so we done the song. And 6 months later, he called me, and he was on his way to my house to pick up some trees. And he was, you know, the three-way wasn't invented. Well, it was invented. He said, "Hold on, my line just clicked." Boop. So he clicked over and he said, "Yo, you never believe who the fuck's on my other line." And I'm like, "Who?" He like, "Ice Cube." I'm like, "Man, get the fuck out of here!" Like, he never told us that he had went and gave Ice Cube the tape because he lived by the college, USC, and Cube was like recording a movie called Higher Learning at the time with Busta Rhymes and whatever.
Love that movie.
Exactly, at USC. So he had ran up to the nigga and gave him our tape. And Cube called 6 months later. So when he called, I happened to be on the phone with Sale from Kausion, the fat kid from Kausion, and he called Cube on the three-way. And from that moment, you know what I mean, we just immediately got in the studio. He gave us like $25,000 a piece. And he gave us like 25 bands a piece.
Wait. Rewind that, because that's crazy right there. Off of that one track that he heard, y'all wasn't even signed yet, and he gave y'all 25 racks a piece?
Nah, we wasn't signed yet. Kausion had already had a demo deal through Capitol Records, though. Shout out to my boy Malik Levy over there. You know, Kausion was already hot already through the city. You feel me? Like, they was already hot. Kausion was a group of 5 dudes without me. They was already a group. You feel me?
Who was the 5
They
members?
was all Sale, Kato, this dude named Ski, this other dude named Crow, and this dude named D. So they was already a group. Feel me? When I came to the studio that day, the other dudes in the group had already left. So it was only 2 dudes still there, Sale and Kato. So when I got on the song with him, it was only 3 of us on the song. So when he gave Cube the demo tape, he gave him the demo tape that Capitol Records had paid for, which was 5 songs, and he put the song that I was on, which was with that South Central, like with that with the Cypress Hill sample on it. He put that as the last song on the tape. So when Cube got the shit, he was like, whoever's on that last song, that's who I want the group to be. So the other dudes, they just got X'd out, and it was my first time in the studio.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's like somewhat of a Cinderella story.
Huh.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Mhm. Yep, that's how that happened. So after he made us a group, and he happened to be like that weekend that he made us a group, he was shooting Little Ass G video. And that's how I got in that video. He was like, come meet me at this address on Saturday at 9 o'clock. So we get there, we don't know what's going on. It's like hella people and hella white people with walkie-talkies and cameras and shit. We like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? So
it's the Man in Black.
Right. So, you know, then, okay, so we shot that video, Little Ass G. So now we get, you know, he takes us in the studio, and he's like, okay, who done that beat? We said, we done the beat. He was like, y'all produce? We said, yeah, we do beats. So he gave us another $25,000 in a check form and wrote it to this music fucking store in West LA called West LA Sound. We went in there and bought $25,000 worth of equipment and put the shit in the back of his studio at Street Knowledge Studio. We had our own room at Street Knowledge. And that's basically where we done the album. Cube, he didn't do the album with us. We done that whole album ourselves, and he done 2 songs with us, which was 2 singles.
Now that you say that, because this is interesting. This sounds real interesting. So since he basically paid for the equipment, like, did he treat y'all like the OVO camp? Like, basically, he just held y'all hostage and had y'all just making beat after beat after beat. Like, basically, like, y'all not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep y'all held hostage, and you just going to keep on doing music. Or did y'all have, you know, like, a flexible time frame when it comes to y'all working?
Well, I mean, Cube's an arrogant motherfucker. You feel me? So he wasn't trying to get no beats off of us. You know what I mean? He was just like pissed off that we didn't want him to produce our album, because at that time he had just like started producing on a professional level, and at again trying to keep up with Dre. He was mad because we didn't want him to produce our albums. You know what I mean? So, that kind of, he wasn't showing. He didn't like that shit. You feel me? So we turned in our album and shit was banging.
Well, hold on, wait. You should answer the question though, because like I said, because I was asking, did he keep y'all? Did he hold y'all hostage? Because he gave y'all 25 racks for studio equipment.
He just took half the publishing. You know what I mean? He handled it in a business way. He didn't gripe and pout about it. He just took half the publishing. So whatever we made, he owned it half of it anyway, whether he made it or not. You know what I mean?
No. He
talking about ghost writing.
No, I'm talking about basically that's true. That's true. Like basically, he paid for the whole studio. Basically, like from what you said in the story, he basically just
charged us. What he did was, I understand what you're saying. Let me answer though. He basically gave us $100,000. You know what I mean? 25,000 a piece, which that was 75. Another 25 for the studio. Plus, took half of our publishing. So every song that you heard on the album, whether he produced it or not, he owns half of it. So
y'all worked in your own time frame. Y'all was able to do songs or go to the studio anytime y'all wanted to.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm trying to.
We had our own key to the studio. We had our own key to the studio.
Like if he was cracking the whip, like was he cracking the whip? Like yo, I'll pay for this shit. Y'all motherfuckers better get to work.
Nah. Cause you know what? You know why he didn't have to do that? You know why he didn't have to do that? Cause we were so eager. We was young. We were so eager to. It was a different time. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't as many rappers as it is right now. Like we was special. You know what I mean? Niggas today get a deal off trash just by having a million of their friends repost it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you actually had to have talent and get seeked out by the upper echelon, which is not as it's not customary today for a cat to get introduced into the, fraternity by the elders. They could just sneak in, and that's what's causing all the riff of motherfuckers thinking that, Playboy Cardi. Like, I can't tell you one lyric that he's saying in this song, but he got the biggest song in on the chart right now. Like, who is this guy, and why is it now to where we was, selling the dope, and popular for talking about selling the dope, they popular for being the fiends and taking the dope. Like all rappers now is
industry plant deal.
Exactly. That's like the whole industry. They're talking about
industry plant.
Well,
I mean, my little cousin, rest his soul, he just died the night of the fight, the Mayweather and McGregor fight. He took some pills, 21 years old, and passed away. You know what I mean? But this the time that we're living in right now. Of why I can't, they try to pay me every day to go back to being a sheep and stop speaking truth. And here's some money to get high and go buy a Ferrari and some chains and like, man, I got money already. I'm chilling. Feel me? I ain't worried about.
It's not only that. You got a family. You say you got
I mean, yeah, you right, bro, but you need money to take care of your family, and a motherfucker offer you $1 million knowing it ain't gonna fall out the sky and you gotta work for it. It's tempting. It's easy to say when you know what I mean.
It's tempting, but it's one thing to compromise your integrity. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to compromise your integrity, and your kids see it because your kids are gonna see it. They're eventually gonna get older.
You're absolutely right.
And they're gonna be like, yo, Dad, what is you doing? You're like,
but listen, I'm just being honest with you, bro. I'm being honest with you. If right now I'm in fucking Kennewick, Washington. You don't even know where that's at. I don't know where it's at. You feel me? But I'm here on some rap shit with the kids. You feel me? For about $3,500. And then I gotta drive tomorrow another 6 hours for $3,500, and another 8, with the kids. So what I'm saying is, at a moment of a motherfucker telling you, like right before Suge went to jail, I'm meeting with this nigga. He's about to give me $200,000 to do an album, and I was gonna do the album. He wanted to film it all. I needed the money. You feel me? I was gonna do the shit because I needed it at the time. It wasn't compromising my integrity then, but
no,
now
I
after
would think
everything.
That because I won't think that
Now that everything
around
transpired, that would have been the worst move of my life. So what I'm saying is, you feel me?
You don't think Suge grown up after all the crazy shit he done been through? You don't think Suge has grown up by now and noticed the error in his ways?
No. I know this nigga. No, he's not. No, some people.
No.
No. Some people are just who they are. They're not gonna change. He's not in there reading books. He's not in there, doing salats. He's not in there, confessing his love to Islam. He's in there threatening motherfuckers. He's in there being who he is and who he knows how to be. You feel me? And trying to use that size and that weight instead of his brain to Death Row wasn't built to last. You feel me? That wasn't gonna last. Nobody's not gonna be. No one's that fearful of the boogeyman. Once he appears too many times, you feel me? You're gonna start swinging at his ass. Feel me?
You know what's the thing too? You know what's the thing about Death Row? Like, Snoop didn't even have to go that crazy because Death Row had legitimate artists. These dudes was making good music. All y'all was making good music. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't. Like, I understand, muscle is needed when it comes to, sometimes you got to be a little edgy to, be heard. But for how he was doing it, it wasn't needed because it wasn't like he had a roster full of bums. You know what I'm saying? You had Pop, you had Dre. It even got to the point where you put Hammer in a G-string. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was still selling records, though.
What the whole thing about that is, man, some people are just sick, and power drives them. You feel me? And just knowing him, you know what I mean, and knowing other people who has that same bug, we all know him. To where you ask yourself, like, why did you just do that? Like, why? You feel me? Like, motherfuckers would just walk around and kick a cat or pinch a baby or some shit. Like, you're sick. And ain't nothing you can do to change it, you know what I mean? But it's crazy when that type of person becomes the person that's in power.
Yeah, we said pinch their baby. Now, I don't know. Like, I can't picture Suge just pinching somebody's baby and just walking away like everything is all good.
Man, not to mention that these guys are making like $100 million a year. They was going gold and platinum making $100 million a year.
He's a good person when it comes to paying his bills.
Just smack a nigga.
What you say, King?
Yeah, I was saying that these guys was making at that time big money, like $100 million a year off sales and all that. You shouldn't be mad enough to go in and just smack a nigga because he ain't right at 16, right? Like, let that nigga live.
But
I think you're right.
But I think
you're right.
I think, and definitely Gonzo, because you were around during that time. And I think as we are all hip-hop historians and you actually being an active participant during that time, I think a lot of people really feel that what happened at the 95 Source Awards was really a very ugly turn for what we saw for a few years as the East Coast, West Coast beef, whereas you said earlier it didn't even have to go that route. When you first met Suge back in that 90s era, did you even have he already had a reputation from his gang affiliations, and that's well documented. But did you see the situation morphing into ultimately what it did, and then even what happened 2 years ago on the movie set? Because apparently he came on the movie set on that same shit, trying to intimidate Dre and Q. But did you see that with Suge, where it was going to get progressively worse? When did you know that it was going to get progressively worse?
Well, I knew that I knew that it wasn't about us and our talent. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When Suge, we was a money maker at the time, but we was also a pawn in the game of him just trying to get NWA back together under his control, and ultimately trying to get Cube on Natural Born Killers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story you have not heard from the movie. This is a story you have not heard from the movie.
Word, like
Suge Knight
say
trying
that
to control.
alone.
Yo. Ooh, yeah. Please continue.
So you know, when I knew that it wasn't about us, when he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give y'all, it was 160,000. We got 20,000 apiece, and Daz and Corrupt got 50,000 apiece to do that song on the Jackie Chan soundtrack, the Super Cop soundtrack.
Right.
So I'm heading to dinner with my kids. I'm hopping in the car, so excuse the noise, but we just gave them some.
Take your time, Take your time with this story.
So basically, Suge was like, yo, I'm gonna give y'all $20,000 a piece to manage y'all. And we like, that's illegal, ain't it? Like, how you gonna do that? So he was like, nah, I'm about to put y'all on the soundtrack, but if I make this move for y'all, I want to manage y'all. I want y'all to fire y'all old manager and hire my wife, Sharita Knight.
Oh, Lord.
So this is also how we met Pop, too.
That sounds like
we did it. We done the song, which the song ended up being I'll Do It, the song with Kausion in the Dog Pound. And, when he done it, he was like, now call this nigga Cube so I can pull his drawers up his ass. Because now, verbatim, this is what this nigga said, man, and passed the fucking flip cell phone to a nigga, like, feel me? Like, call this nigga. Like, y'all signed now. That's the record label. He got to talk to me now because, Cube wouldn't talk to the nigga. So then, after that, it was like he got him on Natural Born Killers because that opened the conversation. And, but it also caused a rift between us and Cube. You know what I mean? Ultimately, that's why we didn't come out with a second album because, I never told niggas this, but Cube was kind of like on some I told you so shit after Pop got killed because he used to always complain about us hanging out with Pop.
Now, in terms of the now in terms of the song,
hold on, Thomas. Let him finish.
Oh, okay, please.
So Cube used to always like complain about. I told you they wasn't happy that they was handing over the crown. You feel me? So Cube used to always be like, why the fuck are y'all hanging out with this dude? Like, you know what I mean? He ain't all that basically. You feel me? And it was just tension there. So once Pac got killed, it was like, I told you so, and, Cube really never wanted to fuck with us again after that, just on some personal shit. It had nothing to do with how high our album charted. It had nothing to do with we sold more records than anybody he'd ever fucked with. It had nothing to do with, you feel me, like, we're on Billboard, and he's mad at us and taking us off tour because some shit that had nothing to do with us. Like, we was kids, you know what I mean? We why wouldn't we want to hang out with Pop and Death Row? And we didn't know the NWA stories. We didn't know the history of Suge Knight and Ice Cube or Suge Knight and Dr. Dre. Like, we didn't know none of that. So while we're thinking this about us and the music, these niggas is having millions and able to, move shit around accordingly and use us as pawns. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Now, from that era in 1994, with that, and you're right, y'all had absolutely nothing to do with that situation. We're sorry that had to happen to y'all. Now, given the situation that Cube had with Suge, is this also a reason why the Helter Skelter album with him and Dre never came to fruition because of Cube's issue with Suge?
This is what I'm saying. Like, Cube is a very stubborn nigga, and he's not no bitch. You feel me? Like, that nigga, he stood up to the nigga and, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not doing it. He done
the album. Also a small businessman. That's one thing that kept Ice Cube afloat. Very small businessman.
While everyone else was intimidated by shit, you feel me? Cube, he has the right people around him in L.A. to where he, Suge was never a threat to him, and the only reason why he done that Natural Born Killer shit is because Easy had just passed, and there was just some sentiment there, and Dre asked them to do it, and they were really friends. You know what I mean? So
that's love, though. That's love, though.
That's how that happened. It wasn't because of no intimidation by Suge. He didn't.
I just think ultimately, like, Suge didn't have to, really flex his muscle that crazy. Like, going back to the roster, you even had Casey and JoJo coming through and singing hooks at his at his beck and call. They wasn't even down with that, bro. Just for the just for the hell of it, they'll come through and do hooks. Danny Boy was okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that song could have lasted longer than this should. It's just that this dude, like Suge, basically was just wilding the fuck out.
Insecurity thing, bro. Suge that was an insecurity thing, an insecurity complex. When you're trying to control people and humiliate people and put them in situations to where you're empowering yourself, that was just him. And, and the lack of not being a real executive and having a roster like that, the bigger it got. And, it's like he wasn't the man for that job. He wasn't the man for that job at all, in terms of being an innovator and the Quincy Jones type level when you have your whole roster that's on Billboard and, you're not a smart guy. You're just a guy that fell into a situation threatening somebody and it turned, it comes to a head to where now you would rather humiliate your heroes than make yourself feel better, I guess.
Well, it's funny you said
did you
that
and
because
Danny Boy ever patch that situation up? Because I know y'all two was going at it for a while.
Who's that?
You and Danny Boy.
Danny Boy, he's
Wait, I didn't know you. Wait, hold on. You had a little disagreement with Danny Boy?
I didn't.
Niggas went at it.
I just didn't like what he was saying
Wait,
about
hold on.
Like,
go to the beginning. You gotta paint this picture for us now. Like, how did that start?
Well, Danny Boy was on. First, Danny Boy was all about the movie. Then once he didn't really get his $1 million he thought he was going to get out of the movie, and LT and them, people started playing with checks over there. He started complaining. Excuse me?
Well,
I'm just being funny.
I didn't really say that.
On every deal.
How Danny Boy
I was just being funny, not $1 million. He just thinks
that. They were just being funny.
He just thinks he's going to get rich off every deal. So once things didn't go right on that deal, he started complaining and, talking about Pac and Pac's mother on his Instagram Live. You know what I mean? And again, man, Afeni, this was his mother. Like, she was not any of our peers. This is somebody's mother. So for somebody to even be calling her by her name without saying Miss Afeni, or whatever the situation may be where someone's speaking on her as their peer, or saying Pac was this or Pac was a clown. This is what he said out his mouth. Pac was a clown. So once he said Pac was a clown, you know what I mean? I'm like, bruh, you can't blame Pac because you signed a deal with Suge, you know what I mean, to where he owned your publishing. You was the dude who was sleeping in the bed with him. You was the dude who was,
literally or figuratively?
No, literally.
On radio, ladies and gentlemen, only here.
This is what I'm trying to tell you about power, man. Like, these dudes was making guys do stuff that was unmentionable.
Because all jokes aside, I did hear that Danny Boy actually did come out of the closet. All jokes aside, I could be wrong, but I did.
He came out the closet on my timeline too. Like, okay, so I am gay. Like, that was a big bombshell on my internet timeline because I've sat next to Danny Boy on planes. I got kicked off when we got kicked off the plane with Pac. me and Danny Boy was the one that got us kicked off the plane. Yeah. For bringing alcohol on the plane. So I didn't even know he was gay. You feel me? Like, I kicked it with him. Like, it's not just somebody that you know what I mean? Like, he's been around. But I didn't know he was gay. Then I knew that he, you know, used to sleep in the house with Suge. And later on I heard that sleep in the bed with him. I mean, just weird shit.
Right.
Real shit.
That's crazy.
You feel me?
You sleeping in the bed with another grown-ass man, especially Suge. Suge is a big, sweaty, hairy dude. You ladies up next to this dude. Oh, man. What? Yo, wow.
Yeah, man, I mean...
Y'all are killing me tonight. Let me tell y'all. Y'all niggas killing me. Keep going, though.
Well, I mean, it's... You can't think that someone who would want to see another man in the G-string don't got a homosexual bone in his body. Like, just because he's 300 pounds, I've seen some pretty questionable shit. You know what I mean? Like,
all right, now, just don't say MC Hammer suck Suge Knight's cock. I'm not trying to hit anything like that.
No.
Like, that's hard. That'll be heartbreaking. You know what I'm saying?
What did Chef say?
I'll cry for weeks.
Look, what did Chef say? I'm not touching that with a 40-foot pole.
Like, yo. Because
I mean, I just call it how I see it, man.
He was
I'm
wearing a
just calling
G-string.
it how I see it. I've been at a lot of parties to where...
The first time I seen that video, you know what I mean, I was a kid. And I'm bugging. I'm like, you know, I'm confused. I'm like, yo, why? I don't want to see this. Like, what's going on here? Why is this dude gyrating?
Y'all want to hear something crazy? Y'all want to hear something crazy? Now, it's you know, Los Angeles is big, but it's not that big. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was this one time that it was a stripper. Her name was Alize, and she's in a whole lot of songs. People talked about her a whole lot. Her name was Cassie. And she used to, you know, run with a hell of girls who, you know, they used to come through every time we had a party or somebody had a party, they would come through. And, you know, this was when I was partying, snorting coke and shit. So Cassie, she called me one day. She's like, yo, Gonz, come through. I'm like, where y'all at? She's like, at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I'm like, the Beverly Hills Hotel? The fuck? Who paid for that? She was like, we just came up here to meet Suge and no, she didn't say Suge. I'm lying. She said, we just came up here to meet Dre and some other dudes. I'm like, what other dudes? She was like, they had blonde hair and tongue rings, and we was, you know, came up here and they let us like suck them off and shit, and you know, then they left.
Sound like a group full of M&M.
Like they got them hot, and then they left with the dudes with the tongue rings and the funny color hair and shit.
Please stand up.
I'm telling you, like this. And look, we came up there. We ordering lobster, anything we wanted to the suite now. You know what I mean? And man, these girls was up there. Why would they lie? They talking about sticking fingers in niggas' booties and shit, and all sort of shit. On everything I love, bro. Everything I love. So when Pac was talking about the homosexual shit with Trey and all that shit, he wasn't lying. Like, these dudes really be on some, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe after you had sex with so many girls, I don't know what the fuck. I can't explain it, bro.
Eddie Murphy.
I don't know.
Yo, King, didn't Jermaine Dupri say that shit about Dr. Dre from before? Like, and plus you like letting bitches play with your booty hole. Didn't you?
I'm telling you, bro.
About Dr. Dre?
I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Like, you know what they call it? They call it a rim job. That's a rim job.
Man.
That's what they call it.
Look. Motherfuckers, this is why they be mad at me, bro. Like, I don't feel like I don't feel no.
Anybody there?
Yeah, what just happened to him?
Man, I don't know. Where GONZE at?
You motherfucker!
What just happened?
Yeah, I just heard it like a. Yeah,
Yo,
I just heard a line
King
click, and I was like,
"Yo, King, you there?"
Yeah, I'm here. What the fuck?
Yo,
it's like
every time. Yo, this shit never fails. It's like every time when the story gets good, when a guest tells a real good story about the industry, this shit happens.
We talk about that all the time too. That's off the cuff censoring a nigga on the cool.
This is
we
not
talked
a
about Dre.
coincidence.
We talked about Dre. Something happened.
He said you can talk about Suge all day long. Y'all start talking about the real business and we still making money off of.
I'm telling you. Yo, Gonzo, you there?
Hold on, I'm gonna try to get him back.
Man, they said, look, Gonzo giving us too much goodies. Gonzo gotta go. Off the cuff, he's tripping.
You gotta love off the cuff though. You gotta love us.
They on the guillotine this week with Young Jock. Fuck that.
Oh Lord.
Oh my God.
Chinchilla ready to chin check Jock out there in a little bit.
Man, look, he wasn't never just no gangster rapper, but at the end of the day, I told King this. When I saw that